wanted to give a couple of seconds for everybody to get logged on while I go ahead and get this ready for tonight. I'm really excited to get to share a story with you that's really a personal story to me. One thing, though, I really want to address, the whole idea behind coming on Facebook and being able to share this story is the idea that I know many of you are at home and are practicing your social distancing and things like that. And so I wanted to provide a way for you to hear a great story, even if you can't be with your teachers or your friends today. So as we're doing this today, if along the side you will comment where you're from, I'd love to hear where all the listeners are from today as I get in there and share this. I see some people are already on. Christina, Marie, Cooper. I'm so excited for you guys to be joining today. If you want as well, I do own the rights to this story, so you can feel free to click on the share button and share this with your friends if you feel like they would really enjoy a story today. The story I'm going to be reading to you today is my story that I wrote, my first children's book that came out a little while ago, and it's called Spruce and Lucy. This story is really special to me. I wrote this story, probably 12 or 13 years ago, and really set on it and didn't really feel like I was brave enough to share the story out there. I see people on there. Oh, I see people from Navasota where I used to work. Hello, Mahala and Catalina and Liliana, and some other friends that are on as well. Thank y'all for joining today. When I wrote this story, I actually illustrated it myself and got my father-in-law at the time was running a paper printing company, and he printed up about 100 copies for me. This is the original copy of Spruce and Lucy. You can see I've got my own little drawings in here of little Spruce, and then we've got Lucy over there. So this is the original copy of Spruce and Lucy that I wrote and illustrated myself. And when I finally decided that I believed in my voice and I believed in my story and I wanted to share it out there, I went and hired an illustrator to bring my vision to life. And that's where the copy that just released, Spruce and Lucy, that's where these beautiful illustrations came from. A gentleman who goes by the name of Okatoon, he illustrated this for me. He's out of Indonesia, and he worked to bring my dream to life and did a fantastic job. And so I see some more people are still joining. Hey, Julieta, I see she's on as well, so I got to say her hello. But thank you so much for joining me as I read my story, Spruce and Lucy. And I wanted to start with kind of my dedication that I wrote to the story, because I think that's really important and one of the big reasons why I self-published this book. And it says, "This book is dedicated to all the kids who've ever felt like they weren't good enough or felt like they didn't have anything to offer. I've been there, and I can promise you that every person has something of value to offer the world." And as we're in these uncertain times, and in these times where as a kid or as an adult, you may be feeling anxiety or worry, or you don't know what's going to happen next, the great thing to remember is each one of us has a purpose. And if nothing else, we can bring positivity and we can lift up others around us, because there's always somebody who we are their somebody that helps lift their day. And that is kind of the idea behind Spruce and Lucy. So I'll go ahead and share this story with you now. So this is Spruce and Lucy, written by me, Todd Nesloni, and illustrated by Okatoon. One day, a small tree sprouted from the ground, and this tree's name was Spruce. You can see Spruce right down there in the corner. Spruce was a very pleasant tree. He got along with he was always kind to all the other trees and animals in the forest. But there was something different about Spruce, though. No matter how hard he tried, he just couldn't grow big and tall like all the other trees in the forest. One day, Spruce was talking to his fellow trees, and one of them said, "Spruce, are you sick? You've been growing for years, yet you're still smaller than all the other trees. If you're always going to be such a small tree, what are you going to be good for?" Oh, man. Well, Spruce had never thought of that before. He was always been really happy with his size. But now that Mr. Oak brought up the fact that Spruce was so much smaller than the other trees, Spruce began to wonder what he really was good for. You can see he's starting to get a little upset. Sometimes the things people tell us, we don't even feel like that's true about ourselves until somebody brings it up, and then we start to doubt who we are. Look at Mr. Oak, thought Spruce. He reaches high into the sky and gives shade to so many things. I'm too small to ever do that, thought Spruce. And look at Miss Apple. She grows beautiful fruit on her limbs that helps feed many animals. I don't grow any kind of food. And what about Mr. and Mrs. Evergreen? They have amazing full leaves and have many different kinds of birds that want to live in them. No animal can live on the tiny leaves that I've sprouted. Spruce became more and more upset, thinking he had nothing to offer anyone in the forest, and he slowly began to wilt. As he started to let that doubt seep in, he started getting more and more upset. But then, one day, a little ant named Lucy was walking through the forest. She was very scared because she had lost her colony and she was all alone. And everywhere she looked, she saw huge trees, gigantic fruit, and enormous animals. Lucy was terrified that she would never find anyone her size again. Do you think Lucy's going to find somebody? I bet you can guess who Lucy runs into. Lucy found a tiny piece of shade and began to cry. Spruce heard the sobbing. He had been so caught up in his own sadness, he hadn't even noticed the helpless ant. Until now. Spruce looked down and called out, "What's the matter? Why are you crying?" You see Spruce leaning down to talk to Lucy. Lucy looked up. A tree had never spoken to her before because she was so small. But this tree was small too. Lucy said, "I've lost my colony and I'm all alone, and there are so many large things in the forest that I'm too afraid to go on." "Don't cry," said Spruce. "My name is Spruce, and I know all about being little. All of my family is so much bigger than me, and I often feel all alone too. We should become friends." So see, right away, Spruce was kind to her and tried to comfort her. Spruce and Lucy became like family, and Lucy never left Spruce's side, and they were always there to encourage one another. Lucy told all about her life in the colony, and Spruce told all about his life as a tiny tree. One day, though, Spruce began to feel upset again about his size, and Lucy noticed something was wrong. "What's the matter, Spruce?" asked Lucy. "I just feel like I have nothing great to offer anyone," said Spruce. "Every other tree has a great job, except for me." Oh, man. "Well, that's not true," said Lucy. "You have a very important job. You saved me. When I was lost in the forest and all alone, you were the only one who tried to comfort me. And even though you only have a few leaves, and even though they're small, those are still leaves who provide me with just enough shade every day. Small things like me would feel completely overwhelmed without small trees like you." What a great reminder. Spruce had never thought of it like that before. He did have an important job. Spruce had never imagined that being a small tree would ever benefit anyone. But he was wrong. Being small was just as important as being a big and tall tree. That made Spruce feel much better, and from that day on, he never again felt sad about being a small tree. He knew that he had an important job, and he was just grateful to be alive and to have found a friend like Lucy. Lucy and Spruce lived in the forest for many more years, helping out and being kind to small things just like them. For being small doesn't mean you can't do great things. And so when I thought about this story, I really wanted this out there to remind all of you that it doesn't matter how big or small you are, how tall or short, how young or old, every one of us can do something great to make this world a better place. And as we may be nervous and scared and going stir crazy in our homes over the next couple weeks, hopefully this is a story you can hold on to and remind yourself that if the best thing you can do right now is be a good friend to somebody else or encourage somebody in your home or across this country as we go through these crazy times, that might be enough just to lift their day. And so hopefully you're reminded not to doubt yourself and who you are. I hope you enjoyed my story, Spruce and Lucy, today. You can pick it up on Amazon. There's a link here in this post. But if you are interested in hearing some more children's books, I work for an organization called the Texas Elementary Principals and Supervisors Association, TEPSA. And I'll put in the comments of where you can go. You can go to their Facebook page, which is facebook.com/TEPSA Talk. And I'm typing it in the comments right now. And you can go there and read. Oh, I see Ashley Jen Carrick's on too. Hi, friend. But you can go on there, and every night for the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be reading stories through our TEPSA Facebook page. And so actually, to give you a preview, the story I'll be reading tomorrow is a story called Sticks. I love this author, Diane Alber, and she's given me permission, and she might just make a surprise visit to say hello as well, but she's given me permission to read Sticks on social media tomorrow. So hopefully you've enjoyed my story today. Thank you so much for joining us. As we go through these times, please be encouraged and please find ways to encourage others, and feel free to share this video with anybody that you think needs to hear the story and meet the characters Spruce and Lucy. Thank you, everybody.